Now let's move into our abdominal muscles. We have rectus abdominis, which will be covered with a rectus sheath, and the external and internal oblique muscles, transversus abdominis. And then I wanted to quickly talk to you about the inguinal canal, even though it's not a muscle. So here we have your rectus abdominis, and this is going to be your six-pack muscle. And these muscular bellies are separated by intertendinous intersections. Now, your rectus abdominis muscle is located right here. So this is a cross section of your abdomen. And our next three muscles are all layered on top of one another laterally. So you have your external oblique, internal oblique, and your transversus abdominis muscle. So first we have your external oblique, and these fibers are moving in the direction that you would put your hands in your pockets. So they're moving medially and inferiorly. When we peel that muscle away, oh, and I forgot to mention that your the aponeurosis, or the flattened tendon that's formed from your external oblique, is going to form your inguinal ligament. So I'm going to go back to this image real quick. On your external oblique, internal oblique, and transversus abdominis, all of their tendons are going to come together to form an aponeurosis. So one big, broad, flattened tendon. So when we cut the external oblique muscle out of the way, we are going to be able to see your internal oblique muscle next. And the fiber direction of this is a little bit different. You'll have some fibers that are moving more superiorly and medially, some that are a little bit more transverse, and others that'll be more of an inferior and medial type of configuration. So when we peel your internal oblique muscle out of the way, we are going to see your transversus abdominis. And this was named so because all the fibers are moving in a transverse fashion across the abdomen. And this is our deepest layer of our abdominal lateral muscles. So this is a nice cadaveric image too of what your transversus abdominis muscle would look like. So here is what muscle? If you said rectus abdominis, you are correct. This one here, external oblique, this one here, internal oblique, and lastly we have your transversus abdominis. And this here is going to be your inguinal canal, or inguinal ligament, I'm sorry, which helps form an inguinal canal that in a male, the spermatic cord is going to go through. We're going to talk about this more in the reproductive system in Anatomy 3. So I also wanted to discuss the rectus sheath here. So this is just a fibrous structure that is formed by that aponeurosis of your external oblique, internal oblique, and transversus abdominis. So now I'm looking at a cross section once again, and you could see that your external oblique forms that first more superficial cover, and the internal oblique, this aponeurosis that is actually split in half. So one moves anteriorly, one moves posteriorly, and your transversus abdominis muscle, that is pure posteriorly, but it kind of encases the entire rectus abdominis muscle. So and you could see that taking place here as well. So here's a great image of your inguinal canal. Like I said, it's going to contain that spermatic cord in males and the round ligament of the uterus in females. And it's going to be bounded by that aponeurosis of our muscles of the abdominal wall. So here would be your external oblique, internal oblique, and your transversus abdominis. And you could see all those structures moving on through here. Here's your spermatic cord. This happens to be a male, but you could see it creating these walls for that canal to move on through. And this is really important too, because this is where the testicles are going to move down. So first the testicles are actually up here in the abdomen, and then they're going to move their way down through this canal and then descend on into the scrotum. And you can see here is the round ligament of the uterus moving through. Okay, so that is it